This is a Fox News alert. President Obama earlier addressing the debt deal passed by Congress today, and in the process sounded a whole lot like he just gave a campaign speech.
Voters may have chosen divided government, but they sure didn't vote for dysfunctional government. They want us to solve problems. They want us to get this economy growing and adding jobs. And while deficit reduction is part of that agenda, it is not the whole agenda. Growing the economy isn't just about cutting spending. It's not about rolling back regulations that protect our air and our water and keep our people safe. That's not how we're going to get past this recession. We're going to have to do more than that. And that's why when Congress gets back from recess, I will urge them to immediately take some steps. Bipartisan, common sense steps.
All right, let's talk about it with Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio talk show host and Fox News contributor. And also joining her, Lars Larson, syndicated radio host as well. And I almost feel like I should ding a bell before we get started on this. But Leslie, I'm going to let you take the first bite at this apple. Is it a campaign speech? If it was, is it so wrong for the president to be doing that?
I wouldn't think it would be wrong for him to do that, but I didn't hear any campaigning. I heard the president basically saying, okay, here is the next order of business. Here's what we're going to do when Congress gets back from their vacation. And quite frankly, I think the president needed to do this because there are many on the left like myself that said, what did you do, Mr. President? Did you sell the store for some independent votes, losing some liberal Democratic votes in the process? And I think he cleared that up a bit by saying, listen, it isn't just about the debt. And we're not over. This is not over. By the way, it is about jobs. And Lars, where are those jobs bills, love? I know there's a heat wave. It's kind of tough for you guys to work under such temperatures.
And we know, of course, the jobs poll at the top of when you're talking to potential voters, that is what Americans care about right now. So, Lars, you know, he's noting something very important. Unfair to characterize that as campaigning?
No, it's campaigning. He's been campaigning since 2 or 3 months into his Senate career. Remember that? Back when he was a candidate for president, the minute he hit Washington, D.C. And the fact is, Leslie, you need to get that Obamacare plan to check your ears for hearing, because I heard him campaigning. He's suggesting that Americans need to choose something different. And when he says Americans didn't vote for dysfunctional government, if so, how do you explain the vote for Barack Obama? He's been about as dysfunctional as they come. He claimed that he could be bipartisan. He had to be dragged kicking and screaming to this plan. And the fact is that he hasn't done anything for jobs in this country. He wasted $830 billion in stimulus money that did not do what he said it was going to do. And now he says he will assign the Congress to come up with the solutions. Mr. President, you're the leader of the United States, at least for now, till January of 2013. You need to come up with some answers. And so far, your answers aren't working, and you are campaigning. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Mr. President, at $38,000 a head, so he can spend $1 billion on his own reelection while Americans are unemployed and talk about a fair share for the rich. Hey, Mr. President, donate half your campaign funds to putting Americans back to work, would you please?
Leslie, I'm not even going to ask a question. I'm just going to let you respond because there's a lot there.
Okay, Lars, got the hearing checked, but I got to tell you, the heat has affected your brain, my love. The bottom line is, look at the polls. 6 polls show the American people wanted what the president proposed in April, which is a combination of tax increases along with spending cuts. At the end of the day, Lars, you yourself and the Republicans, all your buddies on the right, the conservatives, would have been happier with what the president wanted originally. You would have had more cuts at the end of the day. And he is speaking to the polls. The polls show that Americans are not only unhappy with him, more so unhappy with Congress. Congress' lowest approval rating of all time is happening right now, so he is actually speaking and echoing the sentiment of the people that he is commander-in-chief of.
And Lars,
listen, Leslie,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Last week, the Rasmussen poll showed that most Americans, about 65%, believe that the Congress would cut too little. And this bill does cut too little. The president is wrong to talk about more tax increases as the way to prosperity. You cannot tax your way to prosperity. And all this baloney about how Clinton raised taxes and that made the economy roar. Let's talk about causation versus correlation. High taxes do not make an economy roar. What happens is American entrepreneurism makes the economy roar. McConnell was right when he spoke this morning on the Senate floor and said this doesn't nearly go far enough, but it's a good start. And that's all it is.
We got to leave it right there. Ding. End of round. Get back to your corners. It ended on a friendly note. Thank you both for joining us on this debate today.
God bless you, Leslie. Check
Thank
those
you.
ears.
Well,